Is it just circling around?
Yeah, it's just connecting. We're good.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Here we are, episode 4 of Make the Right Play. Here at the Villa household, we are now in the kitchen instead of the living room. A little change of scenery here for us, Ma. What do you think?
I think this is a great idea. I like that you said that we should change it around.
Yeah, I thought we were due for a change of scenery, you know? I thought it was time for us to change it up and change the view a little bit. So, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well and we enjoy it. Oh, so I am legend has fallen. I do have the COVID. I'm sweating like an absolute pig right now.
It's not so bad.
Because of my COVID.
He's exaggerating.
I'm not exaggerating.
He's
This
totally
is cereal, and I'm sweating like a pig. It's
well,
terrible.
take off that fleece.
I can't, because I'm wearing doing a little cutoff action under it, so I can't take off the fleece.
Well, I have to say I feel great.
Do you?
The COVID is past. Tomorrow, I'm finally out of quarantine. I have been quarantined since the 9th. Tomorrow's the 19th. The CDC said I can leave the house on the 19th.
Says you're back?
Oh, I can't wait.
You can't wait to leave the house?
Oh, I cannot
I'm stuck
wait.
until like the 21st.
That sucks.
I can't leave anywhere.
The quarantine is tough, but just do it. You're better off just doing it, not even thinking about it. I feel fine.
I'm following the rules. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I think the government would be happy with my cooperation.
I think they'd be happy with
I think
all of
I'm
us.
doing all right.
Dave, the beginning we had a little trouble with the whole dad being negative, so we thought everybody was fine, and then
Right.
Gabe's test came back and he was positive, and then, but I have to say, as soon as Gabe's test came
Yeah,
back, we went running
as soon as
into.
we figured it out, then we were very cooperative, and we all stayed inside, even though we all decided to infect each other.
That was the best move we could have made. Now we don't have to worry about this crap anymore.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Dad was so upset in the beginning.
He was upset, and then he infected the entire Family Feud board game. So now, yeah, if you come over to the Villa household, don't touch it. Because that's worse than the bat that they say started it all, is the Family Feud board game. It lives on that thing forever.
You got to do something to keep yourself busy and occupied during COVID and quarantine. I mean, literally, it was like just relax and watch Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That was literally what my doctor told me to do.
I know, and we did. We watched, you guys watched a lot of good shows. You watched that Bridgerton show. What did you think of that show?
It was great. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
I told my mother about it, and she just was like, that was soft porn you had me watching.
At least it was better than that Game of Thrones that everybody watches. That's actual porn. That's not
Really?
soft. That's real porn.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
Maybe I would have watched it while I was
terrible.
stuck on the couch for
I
10
can't
days.
stand that show. So we're back. We got Producer Prez again. I think it's safe to say that we will be riding the Producer Prez train from now on instead of doing Producer Gabe or searching for anyone else.
Well, if Gabe is around and he's willing to help.
Willing to help. The big is the willing.
Right, exactly.
That's the biggest part. If he's, being his normal self, then probably not. Probably he will not be willing
He's
to
very
help.
preoccupied with auditions right
Yeah,
now.
he's pretty slammed.
Yeah.
He's pretty slammed, I guess. But, he always says he's slammed, so.
Let me tell you, I saw an article this over the weekend, a New York Post op-ed, that compared New York City now to the movie Joker. And I have to say,
The Joaquin Phoenix Joker?
Yes, the
Right.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Right.
Every school that my son is applying to happens to be in New York City.
Well, that's the place to be if you're an actor. It's only New York, or I guess L.A. they would say is.
Well, he wants to do theater.
Yeah, so
and
that's
he wants
New York.
to write.
That's
and,
Broadway.
Oh my gosh! So I'm terrified now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like really nervous about him moving to New York City and going there. Right, the height of it being in the dumps.
Well, that's what New Yorkers get. I mean, they wanted de Blasio, and this is the result. You have a mayor who can care less about the city's well-being. You have an all-time rise of crime. You trapped everybody in their apartments to the point where they can't even go outside because you have a curfew. And then you defund the police because, everybody's like, defund the police, defund the police. So you defund the police, you take away a bunch of money, and now you have extreme crime. You have, violence in the street
It's
all the
like
time.
anarchy.
Yeah.
The guy was saying that he's scared to leave his house by 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock, nobody goes outside in New York
And that's
anymore.
because
It's
it's
such a
dark.
shame. It's such a shame. It really is. That city, when Giuliani was mayor, it was so much better, it was so much cleaner, and overall more, healthy. And now it's a dump.
Well, usually I'm a very positive person,
Yeah.
But I have to say, seeing how far New York went down the tubes
Mhm.
so quickly under Mayor de Blasio,
Right.
I'm a little concerned about Joe Biden being sworn in this Wednesday.
Well, yeah, I know. Oh, God.
Have you seen his wish list? It's terrifying.
I know we gotta talk about it. It's on my itinerary. I guess we have to talk about it.
Can-
There's a lot of things we gotta get to. It was a very hectic week since we've been together. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff going on. I feel like it's forever since we have these shows. I feel like it's so long, and then we don't get to everything because it happened last Tuesday, and then we forget about it.
Right, like who wants to talk about the impeachment? Nobody wants to talk about the impeachment at this
Yeah,
point.
nobody
That happened
cares.
last week.
Because it's a joke. It's a joke of an impeachment. That's why nobody gives a shit, because
It
it's
really
a joke.
is. What do you think of all those troops, though, down in Washington, D.C.?
Well, that's what the liberals' favorite picture is. You see any liberal's social media page, and they'll post a picture of the troops laying on the stairs and the Capitol.
Talk about a super spreader event. What's up with all those troops just sleeping
Well,
right on top of each
Yeah,
other?
I
in
mean,
the
the
Capitol?
military, they test you every week. They test you once a week, so they make sure that you don't have it, so that we can continue to
Because
carry on
they
business
don't
as usual.
interact with anyone else except
No.
for just them and their little infantry platoon, whatever.
I guess not. I
don't
guess not.
believe
Well,
that crap.
unless you have leave, then you can't interact with anybody else.
I'm sure they interact with people when they're outside. I'm sure that there are actually people out in the street that they see that are not.
Well, then,
Being tested.
but everybody's wearing a mask on the street.
Oh, please.
In DC, you can't go anywhere without a mask.
Oh, really? We were in D.C. and a lot of people didn't have on a mask.
No, there was a lot
Well,
of
we
people
were at
doing
that-
No, well, that was at the Trump thing.
But I mean, honestly, I saw at Black Lives Matter Plaza, everybody didn't have a mask on, and they were, I guess, already celebrating the inauguration.
I
There were
don't know.
about 10 people
I guess
there.
COVID only exists when it fits the like I said, COVID only exists and the agendas only exist when it fits the right narrative, right? So
That's how I feel.
They don't care about anything unless it will help them push their platform. So COVID, I mean, maybe Dad's right. Dad's been saying, because there's a lot of rumors of there being another shutdown. Biden's going to shut it down 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, whatever it is. And Dad, we're watching the divisional round of football this past Saturday night, and we're watching the game in Wisconsin. This year it went blue, which we don't know if it actually went blue, but according to everybody, it went blue. And the stands were filled. It was
10,000 people.
10,000 people. I mean, it looked like a lot more than 10,000.
They probably snuck
yeah,
a few. They were
yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh,
It's-
still at
it's-
9,999.
I feel like they just hand that number out. They hand the number out to say that it's only 10,000, but it looked pretty filled.
It was pretty
Rainbow
crowded
Field
on
was
the
pretty,
TV.
pretty crowded.
Yeah, it looked pretty crowded
So-
on TV.
I mean, maybe he's right. Maybe Biden's like, all right, we already won. We won the election. We used COVID.
No more mail-in
We're
ballots.
Done. We're done.
We don't need the
COVID's
mail-in
over.
ballots.
Who cares? Healthcare workers, nice job. You played the part. You did it well. And now we're going back to business as usual. Status quo. Let's go.
I
Who
mean,
knows? I mean, look at Wuhan. Wuhan was partying it out.
they were partying on New Year's
Partying it
Eve.
out.
Yeah. They
I
really
mean,
were.
it doesn't make sense that the home of the virus was just. I mean, but then they'll be like, oh well, they had stricter lockdowns. Like, give me a break.
Yeah,
that's a load of shit.
It really is.
It
a lot
really
of
is.
shit.
It's crap. It's crap. So, like you were saying, we have military all over DC. You have military, which I mean, I don't know how true this is, but you go on Facebook and people are posting, a bunch of like crazy stuff, and you go on, and you see. I saw a picture of military troops in Columbus, Ohio. Is that true? Did you
I
see
think at the
that?
state capitol.
Yeah. So they have troops now everywhere. Is that true, Producer Prez? You heard that too, or no? No, you have no
I
idea?
did see a picture that they were in at the state capitol in Ohio.
Well, because the FBI claimed that there's going to be mass protests.
But Ohio went for Trump, so why would the people in Ohio who went for Trump act crazy and attack their own state capital?
They say that the Trump supporters are becoming domestic terrorists this week, and we're gonna destroy the country because we're sad that we lost.
Well, it's so funny because there was this man on what's his name? Because he was on MSNBC, Eugene Robinson. And he was saying that they have to get all Trump supporters and have them re-educated and deprogrammed.
Well, AOC said that too.
And he's like, all the Trump supporters are a bunch of white supremacists and they're a bunch of racists. And I'm like, they always talk about the dog whistles. Oh, the Republicans have their dog whistles. But, the head of the Proud Boys is he's Afro-Cubano, right? He's the furthest thing from being a white supremacist. What he is anti-socialism, anti-communism. So I listen to this crap and I'm like, these people are such liars. Now, one time, did they ever say, we're going to have an interview with the head of the Proud Boys and ask him, why are you a Proud Boy? Because the minute that they would show his face, they would be like, you're a white supremacist? And he would say, no, I'm actually from Cuba. My family escaped communism. And I'm really afraid of socialism coming here to the United States.
Yeah.
But they don't want to have that honest conversation with him.
No, they don't. Because it does, again, like I said, it doesn't fit the narrative that they want. They don't want people to actually know what the Proud Boys are, why the Proud Boys were founded. They want it to be, what they want people to think it is. They want it to think, it's a racist group, it's a radical right group, it's,
right. And they need to
want
be
you to think
deprogrammed.
that's what it is, but that's not the case.
And tell me if they're not being proven right when you have people coming out and saying that we need to start deprogramming people because you're not allowed to have freedom of thought anymore in this country. How terrifying is that? That people are just coming right out and being like, we need to re-educate these people because they're just racist and horrible. And then the dopes that are out there who really have no clue are like, oh my gosh, that's right, they're racist, they're racist. Right. I mean, it's so funny because they were saying that a lot of the people were anti-CCP people were Chinese at the rally last week because we saw a lot of Chinese people.
No, we did.
They're terrified of losing freedom of religion.
Yeah.
So let's say his whole thing is, I don't want to go to communism and socialism because I saw how they took away all of our family's wealth and we were very poor. Where then you have a large Chinese community who was like, I'm pro-Trump because I'm terrified of not being able to have the freedom of religion that I want.
Yeah.
But they will never interview and talk to the wide variety of Trump supporters. They just have fools like Eugene Robinson going on TV and saying they're all white supremacists and they all need to be deprogrammed.
Or
and it's
Wolf
just
Blitzer.
Oh, Wolf Blitzer's such an
He's the
idiot.
same way. He's the same way. He just goes on and he tells people the craziest things, the things that don't make sense if you actually use your brain, but they see it on TV, so they think it's real, and then they just attack us
And
like
the
we're
things that come out of their mouth are so hateful and so insightful,
Yeah.
and they're the ones blowing the dog whistles,
Of
in my
course.
opinion. They're the ones who are blowing the dog whistles.
Well, there's actually some people, like, think of, like, they get so crazy about Trump that there's actually people who, you know how Drew Brees supports Trump. He voted for Trump. There are people that say that he didn't throw to his wide receiver because his wide receiver was black and Drew Brees is a racist. Can you believe that?
That is such a bullshit.
People came out
Oh,
today.
give me
I don't
a
want to
break.
name names because I don't want to make people feel offended, but there were people on their Instagram story, on their Snapchat story that actually came out and said today that, the only reason Michael Thomas didn't have a completed pass in last night's game is because Drew Brees is a racist and he knows how vocal Michael Thomas is against Trump, and he was like, I'm not going to give you any the time of day with the football because I'm so pissed at you.
I really think that that's
kidding
such
me?
a lie.
Are you kidding? No, it is. It is.
I
It's
mean-
crazy. It's crazy. And this is how these liberals think, is that they actually think that that's true. They actually think that, oh, wow, that makes complete sense. That's total sense. Everybody that
And
voted
this
for Trump
just
is
started,
fucking-"
right?
Yeah.
This just started. Like
It's
for
like-
years, quarterbacks have been doing well with receivers. You had
Yeah.
Troy Aikman with Michael Irving, and you always have these great receivers, these great quarterbacks,
Yeah.
and it's about being a team.
Yes. Politics, I'm sorry, and these people are getting out of control with the NBA and the NFL, and they are getting so out of control with politicizing themselves, when it's like, guys, just stay in your lane, dude. Stay in your lane. Sports is supposed to be about unifying the country, not fucking, cutting a line down the middle and being like, we are all left here, and we are all we're gonna kneel for the flag, and we're gonna not support the president,
Listen,
and we're gonna ban the
this is
president from our sporting
division.
events. It's like, you can't do that.
They're
You
trying
can't.
to divide the country.
They
They
are
are
in
trying to
any
divide the
possible way.
country, including even in sports. In the sports area, they're trying to divide the country in every aspect.
Yeah.
Everything is being politicized and with this dog whistle of racism. And don't get me wrong, there are definitely racist people out there.
No, 100%.
I mean,
and
but
anybody
give
would
me
say
a
that.
break. That now that they're saying that Drew Brees cut his nose off to spite his face because he was pissed off that his receiver is black,
Yeah,
that's
it
absurd to
just-
me.
It-
I'm sorry,
it's
I don't
absurd
believe
to-
that
it's
at all.
absurd
And
to
I really
anyone.
feel like, the longer that we allow this kind of divisive talk to continue, the further we're going to separate as a nation.
Yeah.
And it's just going to get to the point where it's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
It's really going to be ugly. And let me tell you something, mission accomplished, because look at the inauguration. Not that I think anybody was going to show up, because I really don't believe that 81 million people actually went and voted for Joe Biden
No.
because they were so excited about him being president.
No, anybody would not. Anybody with their right mind knows 81 million people weren't going to be like, yeah, Trump is gone, let's all go party at the inauguration. Nobody was going to do that.
Well, you know what? Now
COVID or not.
Joe Biden gets to. Well, they did party at Times Square a little bit, though. In all honesty, the dopes in New York who voted him out to Mayor De Blasio, they did party at Times Square, and
Yeah.
they were, that was okay.
I know, well, they were passing around the champagne bottle. Nancy Pelosi
Yeah,
was out
passing the
walking
blunts.
around and hanging out with people. Nancy Pelosi's son-in-law was at the Capitol riot. Did you know that?
Yeah, she was with the dude with the
Yeah.
horns and
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
pictures.
Yeah, they were hanging out. They stormed the Capitol together.
Why isn't that a news story?
Why isn't the video of the cops letting the guys into the Senate chamber a video? Or on the
Why,
news?
yeah, why isn't that a news
Where's
story?
CNN? Where are you, Wolf? Why didn't you post that?
You know why? Because they know that there's something a lot more sinister going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have to stick to their script, and that's not in the script. There's
Yeah.
no more investigative reporting. It's a script. That's why even Anderson Cooper was so afraid to badmouth the stupid Mayor de Blasio when Andy
know.
Cohen had one too many, and he started spouting off his mouth. And you could see Anderson Cooper was just there with his eyes wide open, terrified, because he's like, oh my gosh, am I allowed to say anything bad about Mayor de Blasio? I don't know. This isn't in my script, Andy.
Oh, I know.
This isn't in my script.
Mayor de Blasio. Oh, God. I know now that they got Andrew Yang trying to run now.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
such a
Andrew
clown.
Yang, that is not even a true New Yorker, is trying to run for the mayor of New York City. What a mess the city is now. It's
It
such a
really
shame.
is, and that's the only place that my son is going to. In the fall, he's going to be right in the thick of things.
That's right.
I told him, I said, you're better off moving to the ghetto. I said, go to the Lower East Side, because at least there, they're families.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't
Yeah.
go move to Midtown or move to these neighborhoods where there was like all this flight and everybody ran away.
Right.
I said, because they will not let the kind of crime that's going on in Midtown happen in neighborhoods like the Lower East Side or Spanish Harlem. I'm like, we'll go look for a
Yeah, I
place
mean,
for
to
you
be
to
quite
live there.
honest, probably because like the gangs wouldn't allow it.
Oh, they
Yeah, the
wouldn't. There's
gangs
no
would be
way.
like, that's some bullshit. Get that shit out of here. They would not
Yeah,
allow
there's
that
no
at
way.
all. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh gosh. So there's an investigation going on for the Capitol riots. They're trying to investigate, how these people were let in, but then there's no update. They don't talk about it.
No.
It's like everybody wants to talk about it. If you look on the news, it's all about, Trump is such an ass. Trump. This is Trump's last couple of days. Let's go party it out. I
have
can't
to
believe
say,
that
I
they.
stopped watching the news.
Yeah, I stopped watching it too. I can't even turn it on. I really can't, because every time you turn it on, they just feed you with just bullshit. That it's like,
such
forget it. Forget
nasty rhetoric with the dog whistles, with the divisive narrative.
it. Yeah.
So I can't even put it on. I do read the paper though. Like when I wake up in the morning, I go online.
What paper? The
And,
Post, right?
Of course, the
Yeah,
New York Post. There's only one
There
paper
it is.
when you're a true New Yorker.
Not the Times. Don't get it twisted. New York Times is shit.
Oh gosh, the New York Times was taken
It's
over.
terrible.
It really
It's
is
such a bad paper.
It used to
really
be
is.
good.
It used to be good. It used to have some integrity, but there's no integrity anymore. There really isn't. There's no integrity. It sucks.
You know when I started giving up on the New York Times, and we're going back years and years ago, was
Yeah.
when they put out General Betray Us. There was General Betray Us with the whole Iraq situation. General Betray Us. And I said, that is such despicable reporting.
Right.
You know, like you expect that from the Post.
Yeah.
Like that's a Post headline. That's not a New York Times headline.
Uh-huh.
And I just was like, you know, I'm done with these people because they hated Bush
Right.
so much. Like all this hatred goes back to that election where they were so angry that Al Gore didn't win and George Bush took the White House. That's when this rhetoric really started
Al
to get
Gore.
so nasty and
Man, Bear,
evil.
Pig.
Man, Bear,
Man, Bear, Pig. South Park reference there for all you South Park lovers. Man, Bear, Pig. Al Gore.
The one who gave us global warming. He's the one who was like, oh, I can't be president. Well, let me go ruin the world now with.
With global warming. Let me ruin everybody's
The
life.
inconvenient truth is actually everything he predicted didn't happen. That's
know.
the real inconvenient truth. But no, they don't report that either. They gave his dumbass an Oscar, Man, Bear, Pig.
Man, Bear, Pig. I can't stand Al Gore. Gosh.
He didn't even win his own state, that
He
fool.
did. He
Didn't
did.
even win
He's
his own
such an idiot.
state.
He's an idiot. That's why. He's so dumb.
He really is a joke.
He's just, you can't even take that guy seriously. There's so many people that run and you can't even take him seriously.
Well, you know what concerns me a little bit?
What's that?
Kamala Harris, as you know, is from California.
Right. Gave up her Senate seat today, finally.
She finally gave it up?
Finally, yes. Today at noon, she turned over.
Well, Kamala Harris,
Madam
in
Vice President.
in California, they have a lot of ties with Chinese spies.
Oh, do they?
A ton of ties with Chinese spies.
Yep.
You got that guy, what's his name? He's some congressman, the one who headed up the impeachment.
Right.
He actually was sleeping with a Chinese spy.
Well, yeah, I saw that a ton of the Congress people were sleeping with Chinese spies. Like,
Well,
it
this
came
guy's
out.
from
Like, there was just
California,
a ton
right?
of them. Yeah.
Then you have Dianne Feinstein, her limo driver, Chinese spy,
Yep.
right? How do you think that Kamala Harris could have any ties with some of these Chinese spies coming from California? And they're
It's more of could she, or it's more of where are the ties, or like, you know, she definitely does. She definitely does have ties, and she definitely does have relations with Chinese spies and with the Chinese. But it's just nobody's going to do anything, because unless you piss off the wrong people, they're not going to do anything about it. And that's what Trump did. Trump couldn't be bought off by anybody, and that's why they were so hell-bent on going after him. With where Obama goes back to bed after getting a phone call saying we're under attack in Benghazi, he goes back to bed, and it's like, it was a YouTube video. They all had to die.
Well, it's just very concerning to me, because how much money is going to go to the Communist Party now in China?
Tons.
That's what I'm thinking.
That party now has taken over that country, and it's over for that country now. That will become the new communist Russia. That will become the new Soviet Union. Is now China, and Putin, for as much of an asshole as he is, he hasn't fallen under that complete communist trap of going back to.
Well,
the
they
USSR.
opened up Russia.
They
They
did
opened
open
it
up
up.
Russia.
I mean, you
Yeah.
know, they haven't been a communist country in a long time.
In a very
Russia.
long time.
And they have freedom of religion in Russia.
Yes.
And, you know, to see what's going on now, and I'm really concerned that Joe Biden, he is going to be inaugurated, but how long is he actually going to be president? And
I already said until June. 100 days.
100 days.
100
So then
days.
we'll have communist Kamala Harris
Yes.
come.
Comrade.
I'm
Comrade
really
Harris.
concerned about, you know, Barbara Boxer
Yeah.
works for a Chinese surveillance company. She was the old senator
Right.
that Kamala Harris took her seat, was Barbara Boxer. Like, there's a lot of Chinese ties.
Can you believe all these breadcrumbs under there? And what's so frustrating is that people don't even know.
No.
They don't even know about it. That if you told somebody that is so clueless that it's like, oh, well, I saw on Twitter that I had to go vote. I had to go vote for Joe Biden because Trump's a racist. And then if you go, oh, well, did you know that Joe Biden's vice presidential pick is, you know, really close with the Communist Party of China, and Joe Biden actually talked at a KK member's funeral, and you tell these people, and they're like, oh my God, I had no idea.
They
And
don't
then
have
some little white girl will come up to you with red bottom Louis Vuittons and be like, but Trump's a racist. But Trump's a racist.
And they don't even know what
Trump's
they're
a
talking
bigot.
about.
And they're like, well, can you give me an example, please? No. I can't give you an example.
He's just a pig. Well, you know what? One thing that I realized.
Robbing pussy, you know, that was the big one. That was the big one. Locker room banter
Well,
was the one that
And actually, it was Bill Clinton who was grabbing him by the pussy.
Well, yes, if we want to talk
of the
about
United States.
who was actually grabbing the pussy, instead of just making a joke about grabbing him by the pussy, who actually grabbed the pussy was Hillary Rodham Clinton's husband
in the White
was the
House while
person.
he was president.
while
But
smoking a cigar.
that's just a whole other story, though. But that guy's just so disgusting.
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
You know,
Can you believe that?
and he's the one who really got us heavily involved with China.
Yeah.
Was when he became president.
Right.
You know, I think that Bush Sr. laid some of the groundwork for it, but the Clintons were all
the
in.
establishment of the relations with China and the global economy was a lot of the Clinton administration.
Well, they moved all those jobs to China. They were the ones
Just like
responsible.
Obama
Couldn't wait. I'm really concerned for a lot of Americans here.
Everybody should be concerned because you had so much growth in the first 3 years of Trump, and then you had this virus come in and took a lot of that growth away, and then we were trending in an upward direction, and then you have Joe Biden coming in ready to sell out so many people, but that is mainly because the Democrats love when the people rely on the government.
Well,
They
yeah.
want everybody looking for those government handouts.
Absolutely.
But what people don't know is that when you look for government handouts, guess who has to bankroll those handouts? That doesn't just come from the government. That's taxpayer money, working taxpayer money, not sitting on your ass and watching, the next Grey's Anatomy episode money. That's people that are actually working, who are, doing the 9-to-5 jobs, who are working on the computer seven out of 8 days a week. Like you are just slammed to the max, and then you just get all your money taken away to bankroll the person that wants to watch.
Listen, your father would love to have a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
But he starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's on that computer sometimes till 8, 9 o'clock at night.
And
He's working
weekend,
Saturdays,
too.
Sundays.
During the weekend, too,
I mean, he wishes he had a 9-to-5
We can't
job.
even watch the football games without him setting up
Yeah.
the laptop on his pillow.
I mean, when you're a small business owner, there's times that you're working usually about a 60-hour work week.
Right.
Take a
Yeah,
40-hour work week and add another 20 hours to that.
Yep.
And then to work as hard as you can just to be taxed to death and to be told that you're the problem and you're not paying your fair share.
Mhm.
Another dog whistle.
Yep.
Another dog whistle. Oh,
Yep.
so you mean you don't want to go smoke a joint and just watch Netflix and live off the dole? You want to bust your ass and maybe build something?
You don't want to
Who
run
are
some.
you to wanna
You don't
build
want to run some
something?
GBs. You don't want to sit and run some GBs.
I mean, this man is trying to build something.
Yeah.
And you're getting penalized for
Yeah.
having a dream. And speaking of having a dream, today's Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yes. I feel like we should talk a little Dr. King. Dr. King was a great man.
He was a great man.
All around
A great
man.
Christian.
And everybody will say, pretty much, if you talk to a very logical person, they will say that Martin Luther King's a great man. Both sides of the aisle. Not, you're not going to go talk to someone and be like, oh, I hated Dr. King.
Let me tell you, Dr. King right now would be disgusted with all the negativity that's going on in the media and all the hateful speech rhetoric.
100%.
I really believe if he was
100%.
alive, one of his famous quotes were like, you cannot drive out darkness with darkness. You need
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
And you can't drive out hate with hate. You need love.
Mm-hmm.
And these people have so much hate in them.
All
And they're the
all
first to ignore. Oh, it's not that anybody liked Joe Biden. It's just that we hate Trump so much. That's why Trump lost. That's why Trump lost. It's because more people hated Trump than loved him.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
Really living to Dr. King's words there.
Yeah.
BLM
And
people.
you know what? Because they want people to come and be like Oliver Twist. More soup, please.
Mm-hmm.
More soup, please. They don't want people to be able to stand on their 2 feet and have true freedom and not beholden to the government. It really scares the government when people have freedom because then you have less control.
Right. No, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
And, people are just falling right into their trap. They're falling right into their trap. And it's just really frustrating because, Dr. King really wanted to set up a legacy of love and of people working together and with Jesus as the foundation of our society.
Mm-hmm.
And they've destroyed that. And let me tell you, the bigger influence that the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP has, the less religion we're going to have in this country.
Yeah.
Because Dr. King brought the name of Jesus Christ into his sermons. He knew that without Jesus, the racist white people would never tolerate blacks having equality. Jesus,
Yeah,
the
no, you're
love of
100%
God
correct.
is what made our country move forward.
But the liberals are the first ones to turn away from God.
Of course they
They're
are.
the first ones to turn away from God.
They hate Jesus. They hate Jesus.
They hate him. They hate the idea of religion because the liberals think that the only way to have hope is to run through the government, to have the handouts,
You know what it is, too?
take care of one another.
They don't want to ever be told that anything that they're doing is wrong.
No, 100%.
You know, if you
100%.
want to be married and have an affair, who are you to judge?
Yeah.
And, you know,
Mind
if
your
you
business,
want to
mind your
steal, and let's be honest, how many of these politicians are crooks?
Yeah.
You know,
Like
they're
Nancy Pelosi.
crooks. They're stealing
Huge
all the
crook.
time.
Like
So-
Rosa.
Like
Like
who?
Rosa DeLauro.
Uh-oh. We're naming
Biggest
names?
crook. Biggest
No
crook.
name names. Don't name names.
Nah, Rosa DeLauro. We can drag Rosa DeLauro. Let me tell you, I've written Rosa DeLauro a lot of mean letters. A lot of mean letters. I remember, so in high school, for senior year you take government, it's a required class, and we had to write a letter to our congressperson. So I have Rosa DeLauro. So I go and
I'm
I
sure it
say-
wasn't a fan letter.
Oh no, it wasn't at all. No, so it's funny. So I every morning I would get there really early because I'd have to drive Dad to the train and be like 6:55 train, 6:55 train. So I was the first one into the building every day. So I'd go to school and I'd sit and I'd talk with my Spanish teacher, who's actually lives down the street. And you know we would talk every morning, and I told her I was like, oh, I'm gonna write this letter to Rosa DeLauro. She's like, oh my God, Rosa DeLauro. She's like, you need to write her. You're gonna write this and that. She's like, ask her how Rosa DeLauro could be such a good Catholic, but then support so much late-term abortion. So I wrote it in a letter. I was like, so how do you call yourself a Catholic and support late-term abortion? And Rosa DeLauro wrote me the nastiest letter back.
She did?
She did. She wrote me the nastiest letter back.
What did it say?
Oh, that.
She was like, sit down, little boy, and know your
she's like,
place.
you don't understand what you're talking about. You have no idea. And I was like, but that's the liberal way. It's like I'm going to try to belittle you.
Right.
To make you
It's not
think
let's
that
have a
you don't know.
conversation.
Yeah.
It's just you're an asshole, you're a racist,
Yeah,
you're a
racist, you know what
bigot,
you're talking
you need to
about.
be reprogrammed.
How dare you?
Exactly.
And it's like, all right, well, clearly you're just.
Well, you obviously touched a nerve.
I did. I
You
struck a
totally
nerve.
touched
That's
a
my
nerve.
favorite thing. I'm in her kitchen now. I'm in her kitchen. I live up here. Real estate up in the frontal cortex. That's me. I live there.
Well, it's funny because
Me and Dad, because remember she called Dad and cussed
she
Dad out.
literally called the house about the Obamacare.
Yeah, to give it to Dad.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
literally called the house to let him have it because he
lived
questioned
in Rosa
Obamacare.
DeLauro's head. She knows.
She's not
that's
fans of the
good.
Villas.
I hope she comes
No.
back to Brantford one time. I'll give it to her. If I see her,
Well, you know what
I
the
would
problem
give
is?
it to that
Because
lady.
she's such a witch, she probably saw in her crystal ball that a villa might one day dethrone her. And there's a certain villa, we won't mention names, who is very active in the Republican Party.
Very, very active.
And who
right
is
now.
learning how to speak Spanish and
Yeah.
who loves his Puerto Rican heritage and who I could see knocking on the door of every Spanish-speaking household.
Rosa
It-
DeLauro's time is coming.
It may be
It's
coming.
coming.
So maybe
It's
she
coming.
knows the villa
she's
is
gonna be in for a rude
lurking.
awakening.
The villas are lurking. The villas are lurking. Rosa, she's gonna be like, Villa. I remember that name from Obamacare, Villa. I remember that name from late-term abortion. Oh, third
Third time's the charm,
It's
Rosa.
the
Here
charm.
we
We're
come.
taking you down, Rosa.
Rosa DeLauro.
But I mean, honestly, like a lot of the things that the Democrats stand for are clearly unethical.
No,
So if
they're
we
all unethical. They're all unethical, but they like to change the definition of ethics.
Right.
That's the problem, is that they have somehow made people think that what isn't ethical is ethical, and what is ethical is unethical.
Right.
They have changed the term and changed the definition, just like they changed what a pronoun is.
Right.
They change everything. They
They've changed so
rewrite
much.
what they want. So it's so crazy, and it makes you think that you're the crazy one, and oh man, maybe I'm dumb. And it's like, no, you're not. You're not dumb. You're not stupid. They're stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. And it
Most of
drives
their
people
followers
crazy.
do not.
And that's why people lose it and storm the Capitol building, because you have pushed them to that point. You have pushed
all
them to the
summer
brink of
long,
crazy.
all summer long, they're saying, you know, no justice, no peace.
Yeah.
You gotta go, you gotta fight. No justice, no peace. So all summer long, along you're telling people that if you feel like what you're fighting for is right, you have every right to get in their faces. You have every right to disrupt. You have every right to burn something down.
Yeah.
That works both ways. And
No, it
there's
does.
and then it's so funny because CNN was talking about, and if people say, well, what about? Ignore those people who say, what about? They're just racist.
But it is
Blow
what
the
it is.
whistle
It
again.
is. It is
Oh,
what about. It is what
exactly.
about. That is what it's about. You can't say that sort of behavior is acceptable and then get mad when it happens the other way.
Exactly.
But the problem is we're smarter than they are. We're not going to go burn down local businesses. I'm not going to go down the street and I'm going to burn down, Marco's
Never.
Pizzeria.
Never.
Or I'm going to go burn down Indian Neck Pizza because
Go
I'm
to
mad.
Lenny's and be like,
I'm
we're
not
not
an
going to
idiot.
take it anymore.
I am not an idiot. I'm not that stupid. I'm going to take the problem to where the problem is. I'm going to go to the Capitol building because you people are assholes. And now I have to go to the Capitol building and get in your kitchen because you have decided to drive me that crazy that I felt like I need to do that. To send a message to saying what you're doing isn't right.
But just to be clear, we would never actually do that. And we
Well,
don't.
Maybe not you. Maybe
Listen,
not
we
you.
do not
Maybe you
encourage
wouldn't do that.
anyone to go
I
and
know,
do that.
I know
But
that
I'm just
burning-
saying, the same way that I wouldn't encourage burning down your neighborhood, I do not
Yeah.
encourage going and getting in the face of a congressperson while they're eating dinner the way that Maxine Waters encouraged everybody to.
Yeah.
And get in their face and make them miserable and really start intimidating them. You know who else? The guy from Jersey. Well, what's the congressman's name from Jersey? The one who was running for president, but he really didn't make it out of the starting gate either.
There's a lot of them that didn't make it out of the starting gate. Hold on.
But he even said, get in their faces. Don't just protest. Go to the congressman and get in their faces. So you can't tell people to get in each other's faces, but then get upset when it's the other side who disagrees with you, who's going to behave so uncivilly.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why we got to take a page out of Dr. King's book and really go back to marching peacefully and showing up in numbers and saying, you can call my friend who's a Trump supporter racist, but that is a lie. And you say, I'm
Andrew
going to
Kim.
stand. No, not Andrew.
It's not Andrew Kim?
No, not Andrew Kim. It was a
Jeff
senator.
Andrew?
A
Maybe?
senator.
senator?
A
Oh.
senator
Oh,
from...
senator, not a congressperson?
Yeah.
What's a
What's his
congressperson
name?
for? So I thought it
I
was a
can't
senator.
remember. It's a New Jersey
No,
senator.
I know who you're
Right, he was the one who was saying. But the whole point is that we have to go and take a page out of Dr.
Oh, Cory Booker.
Yeah.
Cory Booker.
Cory
Booker was going
Yes.
and telling people,
Cory
get in
Booker.
a
Yes.
congressperson's face. He
Cory
didn't say,
Booker is such an asshole. He
He
really
really
is. He's such an ass. That guy has never said anything intelligent in his life. Everything that comes out of the guy's mouth, you're like, what did that guy
I have
just say?
to admit, back about 20 years ago, I saw Cory Booker on Meet the Press, and I said, wow, that guy sounds kind of smart. I really like him. But what happened was that I feel like the Democrat Party is peer pressuring good people into saying these absolutely ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Like get in a congressperson's face. Like if you see somebody having a dinner, get in their face.
Right.
You have to be the insiders. And then it's going to spill that kind of rhetoric. So we need to go back to what Dr. Martin Luther King taught us. And we need to start saying, you're not going to tell us to hate our neighbor because they supported Trump. Or you're not going to tell us to hate our neighbor because we don't agree with them politically.
Yep.
We have to start uniting together.
Yes, we do.
And move
the
forward for
problem
what is right.
The problem is
So these crooks.
the guy who said, even if you didn't vote for me, I want you to support me in the end, and we're going to work together, right, Joe Biden? Joe
Right.
Schmo. Joe Schmo has his vice president-elect, Madam Vice President Comrade Harris,
CCP.
is the same person that said the rioters shouldn't let up.
Oh, I know.
Her ally is the
She
one
set
that's
up a
saying,
fund to
hold
get him
on,
out of
let's-
jail.
let's- We're going to read the quote. We're going to read the quote. This is Nancy Pelosi. I just don't know why there isn't more uprisings.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank
Why
you.
isn't there more uprisings all over the country? There needs to be.
Such foolishness.
And that's for what happened
Those
this
are
summer.
right.
Those are when it fit the agenda of the Democrats. It was like, we need to uprise.
Right.
But when the script is flipped, now you're a domestic terrorist. It's like, well, which one is it, Nancy? Figure it out.
Because when it's working for them, it works out great.
Yep.
But when it's the other side and it's their ass that, may be getting burned up, Now we need to stop. And it all needs to stop because we need to focus on love and to do things that are right and to love our neighbors.
Yeah.
And not fall into the CCP's clutches of no religion, no, they're a real class system. And these crooks, I mean, when you think about Joe Biden having Hunter Biden go to China and get millions of dollars, that's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
And no American should be for that. No American should say, oh, it's great that somebody's making all this money off of favors.
But like you said, those Americans are the ones that are so filled with hate that they're like, oh, I have to hate Trump so much more, so I'm going to say that that's okay, and I'm going to go vote for that because the girl over there with the red bottom Louis Vuittons told me that I had to go hate Trump so much and go vote.
Well, I just think it's disgusting. And it needs to stop.
100%.
It really
100%.
needs to stop.
So, going off of, this is what the new President Biden's first set of executive orders states. This is his first set. So he's going to put us back in the climate agreement. So all those people that drive those bigger cars, those trucks, good luck.
All those people who are just making their mortgage payments, wait until you start paying a high oil bill.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see how much you're...
Yes. Wait till you have to decide whether you're going to eat something for dinner or you're going to heat the house. Because that's going to make people really love Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting rid of the Keystone Pipeline.
Of course, because that's what keeps oil cheap.
Gone.
Let's get rid of that.
Take it out. And he's making a federal mask mandate. So every time you go for a walk, you step out of your house to go breathe in some fresh air, make sure you do so with a mask.
Well, thank
because
God we have a
if the police
backyard.
see you on the street going for a walk, for me and my buddy Will, when we shoot the street hockey ball, if a cop drives by and sees us without a mask, we got a fat $500 fine on our hands. Me and Will will be paying $1,000 to the state of Connecticut for not wearing a mask. Perez, walking the dogs, make sure you got a mask on. Put a mask on Nibs too, because if the dog can spread COVID.
I would be fighting.
According to
could you imagine dogs
that
put a mask
spread
on
a lot of
them?
COVID. Can you believe that Wendy Sherman is going to be the Deputy Secretary of State?
Remind me who Wendy Sherman is.
So Wendy Sherman was Obama's lead negotiator on the Iranian nuclear deal.
Oh gosh.
So the woman that allowed Iran to work on its nuclear program, specifically targeted to destroy the United States, is now the Deputy Secretary of State.
Let me ask you this though: is Iran allowed to still have a Twitter account? Because I know that they're the speakers of peace.
Only if you are a speaker of patriotism, if you're a speaker of supporting the president, your Twitter account will be banned. You'll get penalized. But if you support communism, if you support blowing up a bunch of Catholics in the street, then that's okay.
Or destroying Israel because it's a tumor.
If you want to go blow up that mom and pop bakery shop down on the street because you're mad at some cop in India. If you're mad at some police officer somewhere, then that's okay. You can do that on Twitter.
So this wackadoo who made that really bad deal with Iran is now back in charge again.
Yes, she is now the Deputy Secretary of State. Of the United States of America.
Let me tell you something. I don't have a good feeling about that.
You shouldn't, especially since the fact that Iran just the other day shot a missile that missed by 10 miles of our Navy ship sitting in the water.
Well, the industrial military complex is going to love it because Trump kept us out of wars.
Well, yeah.
So I'm sure we'll be in a war shortly.
We're going to be fighting hardcore.
So that way they can use that money, honey.
Kim Jong-un, our good pal, Kim Jong-un, crazy Kim Jong-un, is laughing at us. He actually came out, we haven't heard him speak in forever. Guy comes out and he goes, "You guys are a bunch of pansies. I can't believe that you allowed Joe Biden to win this election." He's like, "That's shocking." He was like, "The only reason I haven't done anything is because I've had respect for Trump. Now you're done. Like, now I'm going to come kill you because you guys are idiots."
So you think he's going to start messing with Japan
yes,
again?
100%, because he has no respect. He had no respect for Obama. You think he's going to have any respect for Joe Schmo? Joe can't even speak a sentence. He's got no respect for Biden.
The other day, reporters asking him a question.
For Biden.
He couldn't even answer it.
He can't answer anything.
It was
the
so
guy
bad.
has nothing up here.
He really is an empty shell of a person that they're just using to have the power. But I always felt like Kim Jong-un was kind of like China's junkyard.
He is. He's a big baby.
Like
he's this guy that's just gonna, try to push us over the edge?
Well, I feel more like what he's going to do is provoke Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Because because of World War II, Japan is not allowed to have any weapons.
Yeah,
They're not allowed to have an army.
Japan doesn't have a thing.
So we all know that the Chinese and the Japanese hate each other. So I
Right.
wouldn't be surprised if the Chinese want to start moving in on Japan, and the way to do it is to have their little junkyard dog go after Japan, and then we're not going to have a choice but defend Japan.
Yeah.
Because that's our responsibility, because
Yeah.
they're not allowed to have a military. So it's a very insidious thing
And then
that's
if we
going
try to
on.
defend Japan, then China's gonna try to step in.
And we get all our stuff from China. So who's going to have us by the short hairs? Honestly, if we get everything from China and we start moving everything back, and then our energy prices go up, and they decide they're going to start screwing with Japan again,
Well, this is what,
How much
this
do
is
we
what the
defend
liberals
them?
wanted. They wanted this.
I don't think they're that smart. Like, I don't think they see the bigger picture of just
Who's
how
that
bad
smart?
the CCP
The
is.
liberals?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
I-
They're educated. We're the
You're
uneducated
right.
ones.
You're right. I heard that they want to take away the degrees. Anybody who worked for Donald Trump should have their degree taken away.
Oh yeah,
Really?
Harvard.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
Harvard. Yeah, they want to cancel
Wow.
them. So even though you earned your degree, it's gonna
Yeah.
be like that movie. They're gonna go back they're gonna go backpedal. So even though
Oh,
you
it's-
earned your degree, they're gonna take away your
You're gonna
degree.
be inverted?
Yes, you're gonna be inverted.
You're gonna be inverted.
You're
Go
inverted.
back.
I'm sorry, you supported
Tenet.
Trump.
Tenet was a terrible movie.
Worst movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
God.
we watched Tenet today. The new Christopher Nolan movie, and that was awful.
Oh,
That
what a
was terrible.
stinker.
Don't watch that. Don't watch that, anybody.
Yeah,
Please.
spare
It was
yourself.
awful. It was
I mean,
really
honestly,
bad.
I feel like my brain, like somebody was squeezing my brain
Yeah.
because it was just so bad that it was just,
Oh.
why am I doing this to myself?
It was so awful. It was so awful. Yeah, so I really I can't believe, and they said that they're planning on continuing this impeachment trial past Trump leaving office, and they want to try to indict him and put him in jail.
It's not gonna happen.
You don't think so?
No, absolutely
I-
not. It's not gonna happen.
I think
What do you
they're
think,
waiting
Producer Press?
for the Georgia senators to be sworn in so that the Senate will be majority blue.
No, but I think for an impeachment, you have to have 2/3. So it can't just be a simple majority of 51 senators. It has to be 2/3. And
Well, you don't think Mitch McConnell and the swamp Republicans will try to put him in
no,
jail?
I don't think they'll have
I
enough.
think they're not gonna get enough.
All right.
They're not gonna get enough senators
They'll
to
need
impeach him.
66.
Right. They're not gonna get 66 senators. And believe me,
Yeah.
the stories have been changing a lot just since last Wednesday, and a lot of the truth has been coming out.
Right.
The media may not want to be reporting all of it, but I think they're gonna just be like, you know what, let's just let it go. Let Trump go to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Let him live his life, and let's just move on to business and see how much of our money we can give to China.
Let's see how bad we can F this up. Let's
Right.
see how we could just take a shit all over the country.
And yeah, and for everybody who was in on this
Odell
deal,
style.
let's, how are we gonna pay them off?
Let's shit on everybody's chest, Odell Beckham style. Did you hear that story? Odell?
What?
You never heard the Odell Beckham Jr.?
No, I hope it's not so vulgar that I'll be sick.
It's a little vulgar.
All right, so let's pass.
they loved it on the Fan. I can't believe you didn't hear that. Didn't Michael Rito didn't talk about that? Your guy?
No. All right, what happened? Now
It's
I'm
so
intrigued.
bad.
Who's Odell Beckham, first of all?
Odell Beckham Jr. was he was a wide receiver on the Giants a couple years
Yes,
back.
that's
And we
right.
traded him to the Browns.
He was the one who went and partied right before the big game on the yacht in Miami.
Yes, him and the wide receiver core. They went
Yes.
to in
And then
Miami,
they
and
really
went up.
sucked it up at the game
and
because
he
it was
dropped all
someone.
the passes.
Yes, so now
Yeah.
I know who Odell Beckham
So
is.
Odell Beckham Jr. apparently. So there's this group of women who I guess are like
The whores?
the
of
hordes
the NFL?
of not only the NFL but the NBA.
So,
and
like
the-
Real Housewives, and like let's say the Real Housewives, these are the real whores.
The real whores of the
Okay.
NFL and NBA.
The real whores of sports.
So apparently this girl was talking about how Odell likes when girls poop on him
Oh my god, that's so disgusting.
during sex. That's the story. And it's been this crazy joke ever since is like that
That is
people get shit
so
on like Odell.
disgusting.
It's true. You have to look it up and read this article. It's
So,
so bad.
Odell Beckham likes people to shit on him?
He likes people to shit on them, shit on his chest.
Oh my God, that's so disgusting.
That's true.
It's-
It's the true story. It's the true.
That's
it's
almost
a true
as bad as
story.
the Hoarders episode.
He denies the claim. He denies the claim, but
Well, I'm happy that he's sane enough to deny it.
he's denying the claim, but he hasn't spoken about it since. But these girls claim that he asked her to shit on him.
Well, that's what happens when you get into the mud with pet pigs, Odell.
That's
You should
what
find a
he
nice
said.
girl, settle down, turn your life over to Jesus, and stop hanging out with the real whores of sports, okay?
Oh, Odell Beckham. Well, that-
Odell, stop
Come
hanging out
on.
with the whores. That's what you get for hanging out with a
Odell.
bunch of whores.
That's how these NFL players are, though.
I don't believe that. Let me tell you, my cousins play football. There are a lot of good, clean football players out
Not
there.
anymore. Well, I mean, there are some, but these superstars, man, they're animals. These
Do you
guys.
know what was the most disturbing one? Was the tight ends for the Patriots? I
What?
can't remember.
Aaron Hernandez?
Yes.
Where he
Oh
killed
my
that person?
gosh.
Did you watch that documentary?
Killed people, not
Killed-
person.
yeah, killed multiple
people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, when I saw that
Yeah.
documentary, I was so disturbed afterwards. I couldn't
I
believe
know,
it.
right? How crazy is
And then
that?
they blame that, because you got hit in the head too much. I was
That's
like,
bullshit.
give me a break. You know
He's
what
a
I
bad guy. He's
Hockey
a bad
players
guy.
are getting hit in the head all the time
And
for
you don't
years
see
and
them
years and
running around,
years.
running around killing
Exactly.
people.
I was like, that is the biggest crock of shit. But again, that's why you need to have the love of Jesus in your heart.
Yeah.
You need to, Jesus is the most important person in the whole universe. Open up your heart.
Mm-hmm.
I once had somebody come to the house and they came in and they walked in. They said, wow, your house, it feels so calm. It feels so good to be in this house. And I said, let me show you why. So I brought them over to the picture of the Sacred Heart that my grandmother gave me. They got so disgusted. They couldn't even hide the look of disgust. If I would have said, here's mother's little helper, or here's this, or then they would have been like,
Yeah,
oh,
if you showed them your alcohol cabinet, then maybe they'd be like, oh yeah, we got it now.
Listen, I haven't had any alcohol in weeks.
4-level alcohol
Clean
cabinet.
January here. Clean January. No sugar, no alcohol, no bread.
Yes.
We're doing it. I mean, I'm sure
By
I look
February
much
1st.
better since the beginning of
February
filming.
1st.
Oh, February 1st, I'm
Ooh.
getting shit-faced.
February
I'm not
1st,
even gonna
Press
lie.
will be there with the
I'm not even gonna lie. Presley, I'll be like, bartender!
shaking it out.
But right now, it's a clean January. You want to detox from
But
all the junk you have.
My friends would probably agree that when people come over to our house, it's very it's
It's
very
always-
family atmosphere. Everybody's always comfortable. I've never met somebody that's come to the house and always have been like uncomfortable around everybody.
Oh, people, they come here and they say, I can feel love. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not for me. That's because of Jesus. Honestly.
Well, even Dog Matty said, it was so great when he came over here. He was carving pumpkins. He was so happy. So this is the best. He was thrilled, Dog Matty.
You have to, and that to me really should be the greatest takeaway of Dr. Martin Luther King was, Jesus loves us so much. And if you're going to be a follower of Jesus,
Yeah.
you have to love your brothers and sisters. And,
Absolutely.
the spirit, the body, this is just a shell. But the soul that's inside of you
Mm-hmm.
is forever. Unless you turn to the dark side and then, you'll end up going to hell.
Then you
And-
rot.
But I mean, honestly, if everybody just handed their souls over to Jesus, I really believe that our world would be a much better place.
No, I would 100% agree with you. 100%.
What's the matter?
Let's see. No, we got some comments from.
Oh, we got some comments.
I think it's just my friends.
Oh, were they being very negative?
No, they're not.
Oh.
Not at all. They're not being negative at all. They want me to talk about how soft the NBA is.
Oh, they love when you badmouth the
They
NBA.
love it. That's just because Matt gets mad. 'Cause
Oh.
he's a big basketball fan. So that's probably like Will or Rob or something telling me to badmouth the NBA to get mad. I'll get there. We're getting there. We got to talk about the playoffs with the NFL because Drew Brees played his last game. Drew Brees is retiring.
Well, Drew Brees is a big racist. So
Yeah,
he
he's a big
should
racist.
be
We should
retired.
probably ignore
We
it.
need
He's
to
such a
cancel
racist
Drew
prick.
Brees. We got cancel Drew Brees.
Drew, you
Take away
suck.
his salary.
We don't believe in forgiveness in this country
That's
anymore.
right, you racist.
We're done.
We don't give a shit what you did about Katrina.
We don't
Remember all
care
that
how many
Katrina
people
relief
you
that
help.
we did? We don't
Yeah.
give a shit what you did about Katrina, you racist.
I know that guy loves New Orleans so
I know,
much.
does so much for that city.
I know, and
And
it's
he's
just
such a
like,
racist.
you're canceled. We're gonna have some asshole who's never done anything, who's sitting in a New York studio at CNN. Cancel you, Drew Brees. All right, Drew.
Fuck you, Drew. Cancel.
That's what you get. That's what you get, Drew. And we're CNN.
Fredo did it.
Fredo, every
Fredo.
time you're right, he'll be coming up the stairs
Yeah.
any moment now. I survived the COVID.
Fredo came out of the basement and said, "Hey, Drew, racist.
Yeah. I don't want to hear whatabouts. No whatabouts here.
What about?"
What about when he did good things? No whatabouts.
I don't give a shit that he helped all those
garbage.
people. He's a
He's
racist.
canceled.
He hates the blacks. He did throw to Michael Thomas.
He's canceled.
So,
Canceled Drew
what?
Brees.
What?
No
It's
whatabouts
just-
here.
It's so crazy. It really is just so crazy. You think about it and you're just like, oh my god. Like, where do they come up with these theories? Like, somebody has to just be laying in like an insane asylum, like laying in one of those solitary confinements, and then they go to like the little crack in the door, like, hey, I got another theory. You ready? I heard Michael Thomas didn't have a catch, and I heard it's because Drew Brees is a racist. Oh my god! Let's run with it.
I'll tell you. It's the most shocking thing, though. The most shocking thing to me about the playoffs,
What's that?
Tom Brady going to the NFC Championship.
I hate that guy.
What the F word? Who else is so sick of Tom Brady? But there he is.
Nobody but Eli could beat him.
Oh my gosh, Tom Brady is going to the NFC,
The NFC
Championship.
Do you think he's gonna host? He's gonna host the Super Bowl?
Yes, I
You
think
he's
Tom
gonna
Brady's
beat
going to
Aaron
win the
Rodgers?
whole thing. He's going to
Oh,
win the whole
no,
thing.
don't say
Tom
that.
Brady,
Don't say
he's
that.
going to totally beat the Bills.
Don't
The
say
Bucks
that.
are going to be Super Bowl champions.
So you think it's gonna be Bucks Bills final?
Yes.
So you think the Bills are gonna beat the Chiefs?
Yes, because the Chiefs almost lost to the Browns.
Well, that's because
And they
Mahomes
lost.
got hurt.
Well,
But-
Mahomes could be hurt again on
Is
Sunday.
Mahomes going to be
So
out
he has
Sunday?
a concussion, but
Oh.
he's listed as questionable for the game on Sunday.
Yeah,
they
'cause
haven't
they're
said if he's
gonna-
not gonna play.
And then they're going to try to take his head off. That's going to be like number
Like Cobra
one.
Kai.
Yes, it's going to
Like
be Cobra
Cobra
Kai. Cobra Kai.
That's a good show. I remember watching that
It's a
show.
great
Such a good
show.
show. If you guys are watching, watch Cobra Kai. Fantastic, especially if you're a Karate Kid fan. Such a good show.
It
Such a
is.
good show.
It's
So
the
you
80s.
think Tom Brady's gonna shit all over Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay?
I really think Tom Brady's going to win. I mean,
Oh my God.
you know his wife is a witch. And
I'm
he
rooting
said
for
that
the
his
Bills.
wife does, like,
Oh,
suck out of
Giselle?
your time. Yeah.
Giselle?
Yeah, she does her little,
Doing some magic?
yeah, she's doing some, I got a black magic woman.
Oh my gosh,
Black. A black magic
Another Trump supporter,
woman.
Tom Brady, but in the closet.
Oh, he's totally in the
In the
closet.
closet,
Even to
Trump.
Giselle, he's in the closet.
Poor
He
Bill
can't let
Belichick.
anybody
What do you
know.
think about Bill Belichick?
He's a bitch.
His team told him that he couldn't accept the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Can you believe that?
Listen, Bill Belichick probably
Superman,
feels like he
Cam
has a
Newton.
vagina right now.
He does.
Because he gave
He
up
does,
Tom
'cause
Brady.
That bitch, Cam Newton, told him that he couldn't accept the Presidential Medal of
And
Freedom.
I'd
But
be
the
like,
guy's
until
a
you
loser.
get me, like, listen. If
Win more than
Right.
7 games.
Who's
you
Cam
suck.
Newton to tell
You suck,
anybody
Cam.
anything?
I know, like the Patriots
is-
Who's
didn't
the
even
coach?
make the
Sure.
playoffs.
Who's the coach here?
Yeah.
Make the right play, Bill. You know?
Bill's not going to make the right play.
He's such a puss. Yeah, he made the wrong play getting rid of Tom Brady. I'm sorry. I would have.
You're right.
You know, now
Right.
Tom is living it up. Like they bought some
Tom's
property.
living on the beach.
Oh,
he's living
on
the
some
life.
island,
He's
like
keeping
rich
his
people
money. He's
island.
in Florida. He's keeping it. He's not giving it to that prick governor in
Massachusetts.
He's loving his life. He's
I was
kissing his
shocked.
kids. And he's about to host the Super Bowl. What a life. What is he, 43 now?
43 years old.
Yeah.
43
He
years
look
old.
way better than Drew Brees. Drew
Yeah.
Brees turned the ball over 4 times. Drew Brees sucks. That guy's terrible.
I think Tom Brady ended his career yesterday.
Yeah. Oh no, Drew Brees is done. He's done. He should never play again. They had a little interaction on the field after the game. Like I think Drew Brees and like his kids and were all talking to Tom Brady after the post game, like after they showered and everything. They went back on the field.
And did Tom say, "Who's your daddy?"
Yeah. Tom was like, hey, glad I'm in your division, huh, bitch?
Who's your daddy?
Yeah. See you later, Drew.
You punks were used to seeing us only in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if you mean
I'm
it.
here in the playoffs now.
I know. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is shitting the brick a little bit?
Of
Aaron
course he
Rodgers
is.
is such a prick, though. No,
I
Aaron
can't
Rodgers is
stand him.
like, Aaron Rodgers is like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna shit all over them in Lambeau Field. Me and Devontae Adams.
Aaron Rodgers just has
I
a face
can't
of like
stand
somebody you
that
don't
guy.
like.
I
He just
hate
has
him.
that face.
I hate Aaron Rodgers. I can't stand Green Bay. I'm gonna root for the Bucks.
I'm
Oh,
rooting
I'm
for
rooting
the
for the
Bucks.
I'm
Bucks.
rooting for the Bucks.
I don't even
can't
like Tom
root for,
Brady, and I'm
for
rooting
Aaron
for the
Rodgers.
Bucks.
I hate that guy. I'm rooting for the Bucks. I say Bucks by 50. You suck, Aaron. Bucks by 50. Let's go. Devontae Adams is terrible.
Let me ask you this: how many people do you think they're gonna have at Lambeau? I say
Oh, it's gonna be packed.
it's gonna be
packed.
all the
those
full,
cheese
and they're gonna be
and
like,
all those cheeseheads are gonna be wild.
I know.
They're gonna be ready to go. They're gonna be ramped up, and Tom Brady, who's gonna be freezing his little ass off after moving down to Florida, is gonna be freezing. It's gonna be snowing.
I'm telling you,
game.
he's gonna win that game though.
And he's gonna win.
He's gonna win.
He's gonna win. I feel it. I'm feeling Bills Bucks. Bills win.
You think the Bills would beat
Bills.
Tom Brady? Really?
Josh Allen.
Oh.
I have faith in the Bills.
The Bills were so boring though. I was watching that game and it was
That's
a
all right.
snooze fest.
Doesn't need to be flashy for the win.
I know, but I like to at least be
Let me tell
entertained
you,
a little bit.
if the Bills go to the Super Bowl and then the Bills lose again in the Super Bowl,
That's all they
they
do.
may
is
burn,
lose.
they may burn that city to the ground because the Sabres suck. So they have no other sports.
They'll be
It's
good.
them and the Sabres, the Bills and the Sabres are terrible. So they are all in on the Buffalo Bills. Like they are like, this is our chance. So if they F this up, go into the Super Bowl and lose, then that's it. Like then they're like, we're gonna
Carlos,
burn the city
before
to the
you were
ground.
born, there was a time where the Bills lost in every Super Bowl 4 years in a row. And they just went to the Super Bowl to lose.
Do you think O.J. Simpson goes to the Super Bowl if the Bills are in it? On the sideline? Little
I don't
sideline
know.
seat with the team?
I really
Juice!
I don't know. I know Cuomo's ass will be there.
Cuomo will be there.
Governor Cuomo will be there without a mask, watching
Yeah,
the
because
Buffalo Bills.
DeSantis will let him sit there without a mask.
Yeah, he's not going to be wearing a mask
No,
Well,
of course not.
unless
Biden.
Joe Biden puts in the mandate.
Do you think he'll put the mandate in?
I think he's going to put the mandate in. I mean, these people,
Do you
they
think
talk
we're
about
gonna
science.
So
It's
let me
a
ask
joke.
you, so the rumor is we're gonna go into the lockdown 4 to 6 weeks. So Biden takes off this Wednesday.
Right.
Super Bowl Sunday is February 7th?
Yes.
February 6th?
Let me see.
What do you got on that calendar up there? Press, producer Press, tell me when Super Bowl Sunday is.
1, 2,
Oh, no,
4.
4?
I think so.
February-
Yeah, the 4th, February 4th.
No, because February 3rd is a Wednesday, so that doesn't make any sense.
Oh no, you're right. Hold on.
Hold on, we're gonna check it.
February 7th.
February 7th, so I was right. So, if Biden locks the country down, what happens to Super Sunday? Do they say, sorry,
Maybe
pal?
they make an exception for Super Bowl, or they wait.
Let me
Because
tell you,
sometimes before lockdown, they give you time.
Right.
Like they're like, we're gonna lock down on February 8th.
That's bullshit.
No, because
That's
they give you
what they-
time. Like, you know, like whenever there's a lockdown, they never do it like today at 4 o'clock, like lockdown. Like they always say after
Right.
the weekend's over. So maybe
Yeah.
he'll be in office, you know, they'll be, you know, looking at
We're
all the
gonna couple riots. We're
numbers.
gonna
And,
couple riots going, and then we'll be like, all right.
and they'll say, we've decided February 8th, we're going to have a nationwide lockdown.
So you go all out for the Super Bowl then? You party it out?
Listen, we all had COVID, so we're
We're
allowed
immune
to
for
do
3
whatever we
months.
want.
That's
We're
right. We
immune
don't
for
even need
90
masks.
days. 90 days. No
9 days.
worries.
We don't even need a mask now.
I'm
gonna
not
wear a
worried.
mask. I'm gonna walk in a big white no mask.
oh,
I have to say,
still-
I've
they'll still
had
make you wear one.
so many sicknesses, so much worse than
Yeah.
this COVID. Like, I can't even
Everybody
believe.
has. Everybody
And
has.
I'm just amazed that they locked down the whole country.
Mhm.
Like, I understand if you're a senior citizen, it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
And we
No,
really
you
should have
you
protected
your
our
at-risk
elders.
group. You have your at-risk group.
No,
But
for
man, we
COVID,
could have
no.
had herd immunity by now at this point. If we
Yeah.
would have just like let everybody go crazy and just go have it like last spring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's honestly, I've had colds worse.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not trying to
Yeah,
jinx
no,
myself or anything, but honestly, this is some bullshit.
It is some bullshit.
This is really some bullshit. And then they even try to scare you, like they have the articles. Oh, but you know the long-term effects of COVID. The long-term effect. Do you know how many
What
days?
long-term
How about
effects?
the
What
long-term effects of giving birth to children?
Yeah.
You know, like anything you do in life has long-term effects.
That's right. Tell them.
That you're suffering.
Mhm.
You know, I
Let me
had
play
a
that
DVT. They didn't sit down with me and say, let's talk about all the long-term effects of this DVT. They were like, clean bill of health, you don't have a DVT anymore.
Mhm.
But everything gives you some kind of long-term effect.
Right.
A lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like it's just like they are just trying to keep drilling that fear into everybody.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That is the
Just
goal.
so much fear. And then I wonder how many people maybe were vaping or doing things that were so unhealthy. Like, let's really
I know a lot of
educate
people
the
that
people.
are vaping.
If they get COVID, it's probably the kiss of death. If you're a big time vapor,
Yeah.
I don't know. Or have people, are they big
We're
time
looking at you,
vapors?
Dog Maddie.
Dog Maddie vapes?
Dog Maddie?
No,
Have
no.
you ever heard of a presidential?
Wait, no, I'm not a vaping person. I don't.
No. So, Dog Maddie has this specialty type of vaping. that he does
No
called the
vaping. If you're
presidential.
listening, no more vaping.
No more vaping, Dog Maddie. Looking at you, pal. But no. So they a lot of kids my age now. Instead of smoking cigarettes, they vape.
That's disgusting.
Well,
Don't
that's
do
because
it.
they push that out. They don't.
They
don't even
normalize
sell
Well, they
cigarettes
set up the
anymore.
commercials. Remember the commercials? I wanted to give up smoking, so I took up vaping.
Yeah, that's the new thing.
So, like, they made
Leon's
people
a big
feel. No, he doesn't vape anymore, Leon. He stopped. Thank
Oh,
goodness.
did
Yes, he
He
totally
doesn't have
stopped.
that big cube. That was the mod that he calls the big cube.
I know he had it years ago, but he stopped.
He stopped.
Yeah, I've never seen him with
I haven't
the
seen him in
pass.
a long time. Yeah.
But honestly, like, vaping,
Vaping's bad.
they did push it on Americans.
They did push it on him, and they made him like taste like.
And who helped to get rid of vaping? President Trump.
That's right.
President Trump had a
Oh.
whole rollout on how the dangers of vaping and really tried to push it out there. Same with drugs. You're gonna see people are gonna be back on drugs.
Just
That's
say
nobody's
no.
business.
Just say no.
Stankiness.
I'm telling you, people are gonna be back on drugs again. A lot of people.
It's shit. You know what else is shit?
What?
The NBA. It's just fun shitting on the NBA. The NBA sucks.
Well, are there any whores in the NBA who have
Yeah, there's
discussed
tons of
the
whores in the
cockies
NBA,
on the
yes.
players that they
No, that the whore for the NBA was talking about how she gave blowjobs to like 8 of the players at the same time.
Oh,
in the
that's so
same room.
disgusting.
Like she would switch from penis to penis
That is really
in the same
disgusting.
hotel room in Atlanta.
And then we're supposed to listen to these people? Like these
That's
are
right.
all
They're gonna
out-
tell us.
Like we're
Well,
supposed to look at that as
Kyrie Irving, who was like, I don't want to play, so I'm gonna go party, and you're gonna still pay me, and I'm gonna end racism by myself.
but
hate Kyrie
he
Irving.
treats people like dogs. He treats people
sucks.
like
He
dogs.
sucks. I can't stand the NBA. The players are such full of shit. James Harden's an asshole who just like, I don't feel like playing in Houston anymore. These players suck, so send me somewhere else. Goes to the Nets. The Nets suck.
The Nets always suck. How about Dad watching the
Yeah,
Nets?
Dad's a big Net fan.
Oh God, it's such a.
Oh, the NBA is terrible.
Never on the big
No respect
TV.
for that league at all. None. Absolutely not. That's a joke of a league.
What
An
is-
embarrassment.
What's wrong with people who watch the Nets? And it's like a. It really is like, I don't know, like a thing. Like if you're from New Jersey, you gotta like root for them. Like I even had Jason
If you're
Williams
from
from
Long
the
Island,
lower.
then you gotta root for the Mets.
Well, I had Jason Williams, who's from the Lower East Side. He went and played for the Nets, and nobody still rooted for the Nets. Okay, and he was one of our own. from the
No,
hood.
if you're from like the city and then you're a true New Yorkie and then you're a loser Knicks fan and just suck.
Yeah, you root for the Knicks,
The
or you
Knicks.
root for like other teams.
Or you just don't watch basketball.
Well, I
'cause
mean-
you fucking suck.
When I was growing up, people like the Celtics, people like the Lakers.
Well, if you're from New York, you can't root for the Celtics. It's Boston's team.
No,
But
people
nobody
still
cares
did.
about basketball.
And the other
That's
sport,
right. Basketball, you're such a second tier that we don't even care. We don't even care.
It's not
that
even
we don't even
like-
have to root for the New York teams because we care less about the sport.
basketball really is an awful sport.
It really is. When's Yankee season starting? I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm
so
feeling
am
it.
I.
I'm feeling it this year.
I really hope we can go. They're probably
I know.
going to tell
We
us,
need
like,
to
you know,
open
you
up
have
the
to have your
stadiums.
vaccine card.
That
make sure
the
you know
Devils. It's time. Get on the board.
Is there anything
Get
more
on
fun
board
than going
for the
to a
Devils.
Devil game and a Yankee
Get on
game?
board.
Oh, I
We're gonna
love
be
it.
good.
Those are like the best days, or when
Yeah.
you go to a game
Yeah.
and you're there in person and you just sit there and have fun and you're with your fellow comrades in
Yeah.
arms, you know? We'll
That's
all
right.
be comrades in arms.
I know. We having the red patch on our arm. We're gonna get the red line on our arm.
Well, the problem is that mine's going to be across, so
That's not
I'll be
gonna
one of the
kill you.
first ones. I'll be going straight into
Don't put you
wherever
in
they're
the
going to
camp.
send me. The re-education camp ain't going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out for them too well.
Ah.
Or me. But I'll go up to heaven, so I don't care.
All right, Coach. I think we're just about wrapped up here. You got any final thoughts? Any final notes to go?
You know, I just want to say, everybody, whether you voted for Trump or you voted for Biden, well, obviously, if you voted for Biden, you'll probably be happy this Wednesday. But I just want
And
to
you're an
say, we
idiot.
got to come together as a country. Don't be one of those little resist bitches that we had to deal with back 4 years ago. Don't do that.
Yeah.
We're all
don't
Americans.
Be #resist.
You know, don't get a special hat.
Don't do the not my president.
Yes, don't. Like, that's just gonna be gross.
Don't do that shit. We're not low class like they are.
Right, we're not.
We're
We're,
not low
Americans, okay? And if you really love this country, what we're gonna do is we're
tough it
gonna
out.
keep being the best people that we can be.
Yep.
And we're not gonna spend every single day trying to hate on people.
Yeah.
So please, let's take what Martin Luther King taught us and really try to be the best people we can be and lead by example, and don't ever feel ashamed for voting for President Trump.
That's right.
Don't let
Seriously,
them fool you.
don't ever
And you're
be
going to
ashamed.
lead by example and say, yeah, I voted for Trump, that's who I supported, but you know what? Things didn't work out. Biden is now the president.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to move forward and I'm going to keep living a good, decent life.
Yeah.
And
absolutely right.
that's the advice that if I can give anybody, this Wednesday we're going to have a new president. Please act appropriately. So
Very
that's
well
all
said.
I want to say.
Coach, well put.
Make the right
Well
play,
played.
people. All
All
right?
right, everybody. We're gonna see you next week. Have a safe and blessed week, and we'll see you guys next week.